When I was 25, I thought I had life all figured out. I had a steady job in sales, a group of friends who always seemed to have a good time, and a lifestyle filled with parties, late nights, and fleeting pleasures. On the outside, my life looked vibrant and full. On the inside, I felt empty and restless. It all began to unravel one Friday night. I was at a party surrounded by laughter, loud music, and clinking glasses. Yet, amid the chaos, I felt a strange hollowness. I excused myself and stepped outside for some air. The cool breeze hit my face, and for the first time in years, I looked up at the stars and wondered, is this all there is to life? The next day, I woke up with a heavy heart. It wasn't just the hangover, it was a deeper sense of dissatisfaction. I remembered the words of my mother, who always prayed for me and reminded me of the importance of faith. I hadn't prayed in years. I hadn't even thought about my connection with Allah or the purpose of my existence. The realization hit me hard. I had been living for the moment, chasing pleasures that left me feeling more lost than ever. That evening, I dusted off the Quran that had been sitting on my bookshelf for ages. As I opened it, I felt an overwhelming sense of shame and hope all at once. The first verse I read was, "Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves." The words struck a chord deep within me. I realized that if I wanted my life to change, I had to take the first step. I couldn't wait for some miraculous transformation. I had to act. I started by taking a hard look at my life. There were so many things I knew I needed to let go of. The parties, the drinking, the casual relationships, and even some of the people I called friends. It wasn't easy. These habits had become a part of my identity, and the thought of giving them up was daunting. One by one, I began to make changes. I stopped drinking and deleted the apps I used for meeting people casually. I said no to invitations that would lead me back to old habits. Some friends noticed and asked why I wasn't showing up anymore. "It's just something I need to do for myself," I said, though I could see the confusion in their eyes. The next step was to rebuild my connection with Allah. I started praying again, even though I felt awkward at first. I didn't know all the words and my mind often wandered, but I kept at it, reminding myself that it was a process. I also began listening to lectures online and reading books about Islam. One lecture in particular stood out. The speaker talked about the mercy of Allah and how no matter how far you've strayed, you can always return. I broke down in tears that night. For the first time, I felt hope, real hope, that I could change, and that Allah's mercy was greater than all my mistakes. The path wasn't smooth. Temptations were everywhere, and there were times I stumbled. One night, a close friend showed up at my apartment with a bottle of wine and a plan to hit the clubs. I hesitated, torn between my old life and my new intentions. "I can't," I said finally. He looked at me like I was a stranger. "You're really serious about this, huh?" I nodded. "I have to be." He left, and I sat alone in my apartment, wondering if I was doing the right thing. The loneliness was painful, but I reminded myself of the bigger picture. Each small sacrifice was a step toward a better life. As the weeks turned into months, I began to notice changes in myself. I felt lighter, more focused, and, most importantly, more at peace. I started volunteering at the local mosque and joined a study group where I met others who were also striving to improve their lives. One of the brothers in the group became a mentor to me. He shared his own story of overcoming struggles and finding purpose through faith. His guidance was invaluable, and it reminded me that I wasn't alone on this journey. Slowly but surely, my life began to take a new shape. I found joy in small, meaningful things, helping others, spending time with family, and deepening my understanding of Islam. I even started a small business, something I'd always dreamed of but never pursued because I was too distracted by my old lifestyle. 1 year later, I look back at the person I used to be and hardly recognize him. My days are no longer filled with regrets and hangovers, but with purpose and gratitude. I've learned that self-respect comes from living in alignment with your values and striving to be the best version of yourself. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that change is possible for anyone. No matter how far